I might have to just say this. It's like Carmona. It's like Carmona. Because
Yes,
oh my
yes,
God, I
yes, I
don't like
agree.
that man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it on the podcast. I don't like Carmona. I think everyone knows that
Me
I don't like
neither.
Carmona at this point because he's terrible. He
Yeah,
screams a lot. But I'm gonna talk about
yeah,
that.
he's very bipolar.
Oh yes, oh yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever episode of Coffee Time with Louise and Kat. I am your host, Louise, and Kat is currently not here today. She will be back tomorrow on the second episode of Coffee Time with Louise and Kat. And today, we're going to be talking about dealing with imposter syndrome as a first gen student going to a big university. We have a guest here today that is going through all of that. Before we dive into your journey, tell me a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, hi, I'm Delilah. I'm the oldest of eight siblings. Um, I go to Dominguez Hills and I'm majoring in film production right now. I'm about to graduate in May. And in my personal life, I do have like my own business, where I do like bouquets and I really just like to create things like personally. And yeah, that's me.
Oh, by creative, what do you what do you do? Like what stuff do you create?
Oh, well, it's like my business. I do like the roses out of ribbon. I like to scrapbook, journal, just really like whatever comes to mind. I just like to bring it to life, you know?
Let's set the scene a little bit, right? Can you describe the environment that you grew up in? How does it compare to the city that you're living now than before?
I grew up in Riverside, California. I think Riverside is really small. So you're bound to like run into people that you went to school with, and there's not really much to do here. It's a very slow paced city. And so when I moved to Carson, it was very different because I think Carson's very fast paced and everyone's like in a rush and everyone has to do things and there's so much more to explore and see and a lot more like sights to see, and I think it just went better with my passion of film to be able to just, film and take pictures of whatever.
I have a follow up question. What made you want to get into film?
I feel like film has always been in my background because growing up I used to love to like film fake YouTube videos with my brother and then I would go and edit them, and I would never upload them anywhere, but I used to just to love pick up my phone and just have my siblings recreate a scene, and I used to love to take pictures, and I was also in yearbook. I wanted to do photography, and then I really got into writing and I was thinking about doing journalism. But when college applications came, I was like iffy about journalism, and I was just like, I need something that's gonna help me travel. And I was looking through the majors and I saw film and I was like, you know what? I love movies. I'm just gonna do film.
The way that you said that you got into YouTube and making cameras, or sorry, not making cameras, but using cameras and all that. I wanted to know what videos do you make now, or what type of videos do you make now that you're a student?
Well, I honestly have not done an outside project, so I've really done whatever our teachers assign us. But ever since I got my camera, I'm really just filming my siblings, and I do have ideas. I just haven't got myself to edit them or even look at the footage because I do have footage, but I just haven't pushed myself to like edit.
You mentioned that you're a first generation student when we were talking way before the podcast. What is it like to be a first gen student going to California State University of Dominguez Hills?
Being first gen is very hard. I had to really figure it out by myself. and also being in a different city was way harder. Um, and just being at Dominguez, I won't lie, it wasn't the school I wanted to go to, so I felt like that was even harder for me to even wanna explore and even wanna truly contribute in school, and it was just really hard to, like, find myself in a school that I felt like, first of all, I don't even wanna be at this school, and second, I feel I don't belong.
I want to I want to follow up with that now. As a first generation student, there's often a lot of weight attached to this decision to go to college. What were the conversations with your family like when you decided to move away from Riverside to Cal State Dominguez Hills?
Okay, there is a lot of pressure as first gen just because you're kinda expected to step foot and just dive into higher education, and when I was young and I learned the concept of college and how you can move to a different city or a different state through going to school, I knew, like, that's what I wanted to do, and I always kinda put it in my parents' head, like, "I'm leaving, like, when I go to school, I'm leaving," and so they've always been supportive, and when I made my decision of, "Yeah, I'm going to Dominguez Hills," I don't think they necessarily understood or it didn't hit them right away that, like, I'm leaving and I'm gonna be an hour away. So when they dropped me off, I don't think they truly felt it until they came home without me, and that's when, like, they kinda were like, "Wow, you actually did it. You actually left. You're actually, doing your own thing." And I was like, "Yeah, I told you guys."
And I do have a follow up. When you graduated from high school, did you immediately go to, let's say, community college, or did you go straight to um, going to university?
No, I went straight to Dominguez.
Oh, okay, okay. How did that feel? How did that feel that you, when you applied to Dominguez and you got the acceptance? How did you feel? Like, what was your reaction to it, or to your acceptance letter to Dominguez Hills?
Well, I was kinda like, whatever about it because it's not even a school. It was a backup school.
Uh huh.
And so when I got the acceptance letter, I was like, "Eh, whatever, like, I'm not even going here, like, it doesn't even matter." And then I got, like, the rejections, and I was like, "Oh."
I hate those. I hate those when because I was wanting to go to Long Beach right after high school, and I was so sad that they rejected me, and I was like, because I love their film program. I love their film program, but unfortunately, because they said, oh, we're gonna go with someone, we're gonna not accept your application. So I decided, okay, I'll just go to community college because I've been told that if you go to community college, it'll be less harder for you. It'll be less harder for you than going straight to university. But I'm surprised that you were able to
Mhm.
go straight into Cal State because for some reason none of the universities even accepted me, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Take us back to let's go back in time, like very like back in time. Take us back to the very first week in your new city, which is Carson. And what was the biggest culture shock you experienced?
My first week was definitely a roller coaster. That was just crazy to think about, like, how far I've come. And the culture shock that I experienced, I feel like I experienced a lot of culture shocks, but one was definitely seeing how much more independent other people were. I, like, thought I was, like, this independent older sister, and I knew everything, and I could take care of everything, and then I come to this school, and it's like, I'm looking around, like, everyone knows how to cook, everyone knows their way around, and I'm just like, "Wow, I know nothing here," like.
We hear the term imposter syndrome a lot, but it feels different from everyone. What does it feel like for you specifically?
Imposter syndrome for me felt very like I'm putting myself down, and I had, like, this battle in my head of, like, half part of me was telling me, you actually did it, you're accomplishing your dreams, you know, you moved. Um, but then part of me is like, you don't deserve to be here. You don't deserve to, you're taking up space. You're taking up someone's spot. Like, you're not smart enough. You're not good enough. Why did you come all the way over here? Like, just go back home. You don't even belong in this space. You're not smart. You know, you peaked in high school. Like, just go home. Like, that's just genuinely the war that I had.
Right, right. Um, can you identify the first time, like now that you mention it, can you identify the first time you felt like a fraud in an academic setting? What triggered it, and what was your inner monologue saying?
The first time was probably when I was just sitting in the class. I can't remember what class it was, but I'm just like sitting here looking around and everyone's like so prepared and they're taking notes and like taking up good space. You know, they're asking questions and they're engaging in the topic and they're asking their peers for help. And I'm just sitting here like in the corner near the door and I just want to like get out because I feel like if you look at me, you can just tell that I'm unprepared. I don't even know what the teacher's saying. Like, and I just felt like going back to my dorm and just staying in bed all day because I felt like such like a fraud and like I wasn't prepared or ready to even be in college yet.
It's like you had these voices in your mind saying that, oh, I feel like I'm not ready. I feel like I'm gonna fail. I feel like I'm gonna this and that. Is that what you meant? Is that what was going on in your mind when you
Yeah,
felt
I
all
was
that?
just feeling like I'm not as smart as I thought I was, or I don't compare to these other people.
To the other people who's in the in the classroom, you feel way different than everyone else, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And um, did you feel like your background or where you came from contributed to that feeling or not belonging? Did you feel like you had to play a character to fit in with your peers?
Yes, I feel like my background, like being the oldest, I always put up this front of like I have everything together and I'm independent and I don't need help. I don't ask for help. And then so when I went to a whole different setting, it's like I had to continue to put up this front, but even more. And it's like I'm definitely not asking for help and I'm definitely independent. Like, oh, I know everything. I don't need, to go to tutoring. Like, I got this on myself. And I feel like I was just putting up this front for my peers to think that, like, oh, she's smart and she knows what she's doing.
Is there like a specific class or social situation where you felt the urge to just hide or stay silent because you were afraid of being found out of your real personality?
Yes, I remember when I first started the film program, one of our teachers went around and was asking everyone for their experience and what have they done outside of school, and everyone's answering his question and everyone has experience and I've worked on this set and I've done this internship and I filmed this and I'm just sitting here like no camera, no experience, like, and I just felt like I need to just get up and go. Like, I do not belong in this program. Like, everyone knows what they're doing, everyone has experience, and I'm such a fraud and I know nothing about film and I'm just like have I'm not as passionate as I should be, and that's just how I felt. Like everyone knows everything and I'm here a fraud and I know nothing. And I just wanted to just run and leave and change my major, change my identity, everything.
Did you feel left out when you saw and heard all of that coming from the professor and all the students who were taking the film class?
Yes, I definitely felt left out, and I felt like I didn't belong, or I didn't even deserve to be called a film student. And I feel like when the teacher got to me and I answered and was like, "Yeah, I've done nothing," I just felt so little, and everyone was so much more passionate, more talented, and I'm just here like this little kid, like just trying. I don't even know.
One common struggle for first gen students is the translation gap, having to explain college struggles to family members who haven't experienced them themselves. Did you find it hard to did you find it hard to talk to your family about your anxiety?
Yeah, I feel like they saw me in high school drowning myself in my work and drowning myself in school and thriving. And I think it was so hard to finally tell them, like, I'm having trouble, like, I'm struggling. And even when I did tell them, I don't think they necessarily understood. I think they just thought, like, you're gonna get used to it. It's just because it's a new environment. And I don't think they truly understood, like, no, this is totally different. And it's very hard to explain when I'm the first one to go to college and they can't grasp the fact that hey, I'm struggling, I need help. And yeah, I don't think I could, or they could understand unless they were in my shoes. And I feel like that's so hard sometimes when you're trying to ask somebody for help, but they truly don't understand you just because they've never been there. And I feel like it's just harder for them to comfort me when they know nothing about what I'm talking about.
Was there a turning point or a specific conversation or a grade or a realization where you started to feel like, okay, maybe I do belong here?
Okay, I remember this so vividly. It was for my stats class, and I um struggle with math. And so I'm sitting here and I'm studying every day for my final. I'm on the verge of failing this class. And I just remember going to class, I'm taking my test, and it's like I'm flying through the questions. I'm understanding, and I turn it in, I get my grade back, and I pass. And in that moment, I just felt like such a relief, and like all I have to do is apply myself, and I do belong here, and I can do it. And I just need to be nicer to myself, and I am smart, and I will pass my classes, and I will graduate. And I just felt in that moment, even though it was a C grade, I was like just proud of myself for passing that class.
How did you go finding a community that understood your specific background?
Well, finding my people was very hard, because I'm a pretty introverted person. And so when I first started at Dominguez Hills, I only had like one friend. And then I finally got to the film program, and barely my senior year fall semester, I truly started talking to everyone, and I started to get closer to everyone in the film DMA program. And I feel like those are my people. And even though I found them late, I feel like they're so understanding, and it's relieving just to find people that are not judgmental and that have the same passions as me, and like are supportive and like want me on their team. And I feel like that's just a great feeling, and I'm very glad to have finally found them. Even though it took a few years, I found them, and I'm pretty happy.
Right, right. So, to close off the podcast, I wanted to ask if you could go back to your freshman self, what would you say to yourself when you were going through all that? What you could have done better?
I would definitely tell myself that Dominguez Hills is not that bad. I think that I put myself down a lot and I felt like I was settling at a school that wasn't on my list. But I would just remind myself like everything happens for a reason and you're here for a reason, and to just continue to push myself and maybe just apply myself a little bit more, but that I'm gonna do perfectly fine.
To close off the podcast, I wanted to ask, what is one thing you want professors or non-first gen students to understand about the experience of walking into a classroom with that weight on your shoulders?
I would definitely want everyone to know that the weight on the first gen shoulders is so heavy, and I feel that you don't necessarily have to say anything, but I think that patience goes a long way, and I would want everyone to just be patient with one another, because as a first gen student, you're navigating with no map, no instructions, and I feel like everyone just deserves some patience, and I feel some professors need to really understand that a lot of their students, it's their first time being there and their entire family has never went to school, and I think that they just need to keep that in mind, that everyone's story is different and everyone has some sort of weight on their shoulders, and just to be patient and be kind to your students and understanding.
I might have to just say this. It's like Carmona. It's like Carmona,
Yes,
because
yes,
oh
yes,
my
I
god, I
agree.
don't like that man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say it on the podcast. I don't like Carmona. I think
Me
everyone
neither.
knows that I don't like Carmona at this point because he's terrible.
Yeah,
He screams a lot. But I'm gonna talk
yeah, he's
about
very
that.
bipolar.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. He's happy at one point and then he's mad at another. Like that is just crazy. I don't know. I don't know how I was able to get him for 2.5 years. I thank you for having you in this podcast today. I really appreciate your time here tonight in and Coffee Time with Luis and Kat. And I thank everyone for joining the podcast today. If anyone wants to follow my Instagram will be right here in the bottom lower third. That's coming up right now. And if you guys want to join us again, you guys can. Well, thank you, Delilah, for your time in the podcast, and we are done.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
I just wanna shut up and sleep.